Hello and good morning, David. Welcome to Wednesday.
Good morning, Randall.
We're here with Silent Reflections again with the Academy of Spiritual Awakening, and boy, it's been quite the weather over the past few days, right?
Yeah, we're iced in here where I am in Charlotte. How about you in
Yeah,
Columbus?
yeah, we're all snowed in, 15 inches or so of snow, but it's taken me 3 days to dig everything out that I've needed to dig out to get around. So it's been quite the event.
Yep.
And yeah, you and I have been talking a little bit lately about how to hold our sacred space and see what's going on within the United States and the world at large, and hold those sacred eyes, a way of looking at things that's going to help us thrive, even though we're in the midst of chaos. And I just have a feeling you have something really great to share today about it.
Yeah, I was reminded of the Bible calls these times perilous times.
Right,
That's kind of the term that they use in scripture, but actually it's a time of turbulent and chaos would be the word we would use today. But when viewed in the light of historical perspective, it can be seen to represent not only the death of an old agonies of an old order that's dying, but also the pains of a new epoch that is birthing. So here we are, kind of in between these two things of what's dying and what's birthing. And there's a
yes,
question that's always presented to me that I've always paid attention to in the prophecies, and that's who will stand in this middle place, this
right,
gap and
right,
be the bridge. Like the song says, the bridge over troubled waters. And
right.
so therefore I believe there's a people out there who've been born for this time, actually. And if we could just shift our perception from what we see through our sensory perception, which is breakdown, then we can connect to what's breaking through. And that makes us more exciting.
Yeah, the big issue I have with all of this is what I'm seeing in the news and reading brings up a lot of resistance sometimes to what's occurring. Uh, Is there anything I can do to help with that resistance to what's happening?
Well, of course, the resistance comes from what we call psychologically the ego part of the mind. In
Okay.
the Bible, it'd be the devil, the adversary. Same thing. It's all the same thing, but today we call it the ego mind, which is a part of our mind or our human brain, actually, that buys into more reality is outside of ourselves
Mhm.
and not what is within ourselves. And that's where we've got to go right now. I can't go outside very well here right now because there's just ice everywhere, but I can go within myself. And as we go within ourselves, we begin to have a different perspective of how we see things. So, really, America, and I talked about this Sunday morning for those who want to hear the message on America's first chakra, because we're going through the first chakra in America of tribalism and separation and all of this extremities of polarities between the right and the left and conservative and liberal and on, which really seen through sacred eyes, as you mentioned earlier, is seen totally different than the way we see it playing out in the outer world. So really, we're kind of going what is called the dark night of the soul. And the dark side of the soul is for us to face our own pathologies. Pathologies meaning all of the stuff that we have not taken care of in our history. Racism, homophobia, all of the history that we have kind of stuffed down and moved on without balancing and healing and taking care of. And Randall, I think that's why there's a call for healers today. I'm going to use that word loosely,
Yeah.
healers, but people who are facilitating deep work of helping people to go within the depths of their soul and to find what they've made unconscious. But it's the unconscious that drives our life. It's not what I think about all day. It's what I've not thought about that really controls my life. So it's an interesting time, no doubt about it. As the Chinese saying is, we live in a time of crises, but crises means opportunities.
Yeah. So when talking about the root chakra, of the world and of the United States, that you're talking about kind of our most base beliefs that operates from fight and flight. That kind of state of being is what's going on. Is that what you mean by root chakra?
Yeah, well, root chakra is basically how we transfer from being a soul or a spiritual being and come into the human outer story. And when
Okay,
we do that, we're born into a family, right? Or
right,
we would say a tribe. A family is like a tribe. And then we go join a religion, which is a tribe. And then we get into a political persuasion, maybe, and we pick a
right.
tribe. So it's
Yeah,
all tribal, tribal, tribal. And that's what we're seeing today that's emerging, and especially in Minneapolis and around this country today, is we're seeing those pathologies emerging to the point that it's in our face. We can't ignore it anymore. It's here. Now, what are we going to do with it is the question. Either we're
yeah,
going to see it for what it is and bring healing to the collective, which is how we're going to transfer this. It's not going to be about who can I vote in next, who's the next person outside of myself that's going to rescue us off the railroad track, but really we're looking for the within, the guide, the teacher that is going to guide us and navigate us through this time that we're going through right now.
yeah. And you mentioned the unconscious beliefs that we hold. Another way to, I've heard that described as transparent beliefs that we kind of wear like our skin, and we forget that we assumed an idea or a belief about how the world should be, but it's not behaving that way. So we often go into resistance or we act out. And I kind of think we're at the point in human consciousness or mass consciousness that we can no longer hide our reactions. They're being revealed, almost like an exorcism of sorts.
Wow. That's powerful. It is a kind of collective exorcism. And it's a time that we can make different choices in how that we want to deal with this. We certainly don't want to stuff it again because we're
Right.
just building and building and building. That's called the definition of building and building unresolved issues into the unconscious becomes a field known as a pain body. And that's
Yes.
what's emerging in America is our own pain body. We've got some things to deal with. Let's face it. I love America, and I'm glad to be born in America, but America cannot ignore its own karma of what we've
Yes.
done with Native Americans and African Americans and people who don't fit the status quo of what is normal, what is correct, so on and so forth. So, hey, it's just time to face it. So let's just rise to the occasion.
Well, and I think a call to people like yourself and myself and others that within the academy and Heartlight Spiritual Center that you have there, our call is to, I think, to really, as a healer, you might say, is to hold space for those that
Mm,
need to act out and offload these beliefs and these energies that they've been holding tight to, so that
mm.
they can go to the next level of what it means to be a sacred human, as
Yeah,
you
one of
speak
the
to.
things that concerns me, being a part of a spiritual community that I am, my life is in the spiritual realms of life and so on and so forth. But I see that a lot of people are using it kind of like the ostrich that sticks its head in the sand and just
Yes,
hope I don't see it, it goes away. And I don't feel that way. That's why I'm talking about this morning, is I've held back and held back because I don't want to call a ripple in the waves of things. But I think we really need to come forward and use this level of consciousness that we've been working so hard to bring ourselves to into the conversation.
well, and in closing, what I think kind of your call is for those of us that have the capacity and understanding to do it, to be kind of like the lighthouse and just keep shining the way and letting people know there's opportunity to for things to get better, and come this way and share what we have.
Yeah, before we close, I do want to invite people today at 11 o'clock. I'll be doing a class and showing a video of Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, who actually spoke of this time in 2026 and Trump and all that's going on. I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful reading, and we're going to be showing it at the 11 o'clock service today or teaching class. So people want to jump on there, they can get on at Charlotte Light heartlightcharlotte.org. That's heartlightcharlotte.org. So jump on there. If you can't make it at 11, it'll be posted and you can see it later.
That's right. So thank you for the conversation. It really
Thank
raised
you.
my energy and my motivation today. So
Well, let's
to,
hope it also does that for others who happen to tune in to us today.
I think it will. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.